Welcome to Fantasy and Reality, where we are conjuring compassion. Welcome to another episode. I am Shannon Malone-deBenedictis. I am a documentary filmmaker, pet owner of elderly pets, a dog and a cat, a workshop facilitator, and a body image consultant and public speaker. And I am with my beautiful colleague, as always.
Dunn. I am a YA fantasy author and illustrator. I've also started to do some developmental editing for books, so sort of help people take an idea and sort of give them feedback, whatever they need. Sort of a mentoring situation, but paid. Um, just the advocate.
Disability advocate. And today I do have to say that you are totally rocking the kind of like Irish badass banshee look. It's fantastic.
Thank
It is
you.
great. It is awesome. The green with the magenta, it's fantastic. It's just
Thank
it's a
you.
it's a really, really good look. Okay,
This
so
was my
today
1% club outfit.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I am fashioned by Old Navy. So that is just me today, Old Navy. Okay, young adult books. So let me start this by saying that I really started getting into young adult books and this kind of I don't know, new wave or whatever when I was in my 40s. And when I got in my 40s, I thought people were like, should a grown adults be reading young adult books? And 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 yeah, because there's something about them that just I don't know, touches on a lot of stuff. So, as a young adult author of the Magic Locker series, which I love, that make me cry, and are books that I recommend to everybody because again, it kind of hits there. What as an author, as someone in this world, why do these books hit so hard? What is it about them, Alara?
I talk about with other fantasy authors often is it's sort of a metaphor. It's a low risk, if you will,
Hmm.
way of addressing problems. And I think problems that we had as teenagers that it can really stay with you and sort of shape who you are. So I think just from that sort of like, it's not an overly, sometimes it is, but like, it's not like insanely just in your face trauma,
Hmm.
usually. I've also found that there are two groups of people who read YA: middle school students and
Hmm.
adults. Young adults do not think they are too good or too like, oh, I don't read YA. And they're
Yeah,
head to toe Harry Potter. I don't read YA.
yeah, yeah.
Guess what you do.
Hmm.
But it's fun. I mean, it's fun. A lot of people read to escape, and a lot of it is very adventure based. I'm coming at this from a fantasy author, obviously not like a
Hmm.
romance author or anything, but I guess people get really engaged in that as, it's just, escape from reality.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I maybe that's kind of it. I think you skip that time where you're too cool, like you hit a teenage years through your 20s and maybe your early 30s where it's like because you like I'm too cool because those are the years I think that for the most part people think they know everything. They think
Right.
that they I like to joke that those age groups it's a little bit also like being under the age of 6. It's everything's black and white. Everything's
Right.
this. It's like it's either this or that. And then you get to those years where it's like life is so gray. It's so gray. There's so many nuances. There's so many things.
Right.
And it's I like to joke it's yes, but no if. It's kind of that.
There's
And
sort of
so
an old adage
yeah.
that when you're young, you can't wait to get older, and when you're older, you can't wait to get younger.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's part of why it's
Yes. I think that that might be that I think that's a good part of it is I think that when you're an adult, you read these things and it does bring you back to when you're younger. It makes you think about those things and for me, I don't look back and be like, I wish I had done blank. I don't look back and well, I try not to live like with regret. I try not to be like, if I had only. I don't. But I think of it about when I was at that time, and many times I do wish I had these books, a lot of these lessons, and maybe not John Hughes movies, and maybe more of these YA books. Being in our 50s and what we do that. What are some themes that you think really resonate with people?
I think adventure is just always like a good adventure, escapism always resonates with people. As an adult, I think a lot of, since adults write YA, we often just sort of throw in those adult characters as well.
Hmm.
And that way adults can connect with it a little bit more. So again, for this being for adults and not my actual middle school YA audience, I
Hmm.
think it is just sort of, it's just escapism. I don't want to say it sort of normalizes, like when I write about, bullying in actual real life, and,
Hmm.
anybody from the age of like, I don't know, 5 on up can say, hey, I knew people like that. I know somebody like that now. So I think a lot of the themes in our lives are just so universal.
Yeah. Yeah. And the escapism, I know in your books, so they find these are what would be classified in the old days, maybe would be a group of misfits. Would that be, I always think of the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
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 Although there was nothing wrong with Susie. There was nothing wrong with her. That always made,
Right.
well, there was nothing wrong with her. We're talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, everybody, the
The
Rankin
little
Bass.
doll.
The little
Yeah.
doll. There was nothing wrong with her. Now the train with square wheels, yeah, that made sense, and the polka dotted elephant kind of made sense. Although the polka dot elephant was absolutely adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but there
all
was
were.
nothing wrong with Susie. So anyway, I'm sorry. I did not mean to characterize your characters as that, but I think that they're all characters who are going through things that most kids go through, maybe not openly, and then adults go through. Would you say that's a good characterization?
Yeah, and I just want to get back, like the core of that is bullying, and I guess misfits are often bullied. There's, I often don't put it on when asked if there's a reason why they're bullied, the
Yeah,
reason is the other person is too short-sighted to see their worth, or they're afraid to not join in with the crowd. It has nothing to do with who these people are. So
exactly.
I'm
Oh,
somewhat reluctant to say, you know what I mean? Because these kids, the whole point of the book is these kids have power on their own and they have this worth um with it. So yeah. So
yeah. Let
yes,
me
I
clarify.
shouldn't say misfits, but as you know, my main character, Ellie, she is very proud of who she is. She's
That
very
Yeah, and I did not, and let me clarify. I want to make this clear. I did not mean misfit in a derogatory
No, no, I
way.
didn't, yeah, no, I didn't take it that
But I
way.
think that's part of the thing of, one of the positive things that has happened in the past decade, 2 decades, is that, nerd is no longer necessarily a derogatory term.
Right,
It's okay. You're into these things. That's it. It's okay. This is not, it's, and like you said, it's not that it's suddenly accepted. It's that no, all you other people were too short-sighted to see how awesome and how fantastic and how great these things are.
right,
It's not on those characters.
right.
Yeah. So which character was your kind of inspiration? And then where did you grow out of it?
Me.
Where'd you go? Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Because I want to know why they hit so hard. Because I know where I felt to it, but as the author, I want to talk to you about where it hit for you and kind of that emotional nugget, that emotional acorn.
So I don't know if you ever heard from any of the drawing professors that whenever you draw somebody, there's always a little piece of yourself in that portrait.
No, because I hated drawing classes and usually just
Okay.
shut down because I can't draw. But go ahead. Yes.
So anyway, art professors will say.
No, here, true story. Someone said to me, I used to think everybody could draw, and then I met you, and you really can't draw, Shannon. And honestly, and honestly, it's because my brain does not function in terms of seeing things that way. And I got by in classes, but
Interesting.
it back to strengths, not a strength. Go back.
Right.
Sorry, art
Be honest
professors.
with
Yes,
yourself. Yep.
yes.
Yep. Um, like, oh, so anyway, as I started writing the characters, so obviously the main character, she's not me at all because I played trumpet and she plays trombone. So like very
Completely
clearly
different.
it's nothing.
No, no.
Every character in that book is a part of me.
Okay, okay.
Um, so Ellie was a large part of who I was throughout like my whole life up until high school. And then I sort of in the middle of high school I became Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Um there the only character that is not me is Chris. And Chris is based on one of my real life friends in high
Mm-hmm.
school because I'm not a gay male. I did not want to write a gay male without having it true.
Mm-hmm.
So the characteristics and a lot of Chris is my real life Chris who passed away. So I
Mm-hmm.
always say he lives inside the magic locker now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like their bond and their friendship that was very real. And some of the things, there it's drawn on his life experiences because I knew him pretty well in high
Mm-hmm.
school. And
Mm-hmm.
then some of the more compassionate characters. I'm not really like the character, but sort of that nurturing and compassion comes into that side of me.
Do you think that because that personal emotional core is there, that that's why it connects so well?
I think because it's true,
Mm-hmm.
because it's real. I write fantasy, but it's the characters' emotions. They're either my emotions or emotions of somebody I talked to. So I think that, you know what I mean? Sometimes people write these fantastic characters, but there's nothing really to connect to because, well, I've never felt, you know, that confident or whatnot.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of different writers will, they'll write sort of different characters that are all true in one reason or another. To connect with. So even though there might be different personalities, they're really tapping into their inner dialogue and their inner thoughts.
You know, it's funny how those when those characters hit and feel so true. Maybe not even in a way that is positive. I joke about every once in a while I will have my Veruca Salt moment where I am like, "No, I want this now. I want all the beans. I want a golden goose. I want it all now." And the thing is for Veruca Salt or Violet or Mike TV, is it's recognizing that we have those emotions and those urges inside us. We just need to correct them.
Right.
We need to stop and go, wait a minute. It's okay to have a Veruca Salt moment. It's stomping your feet on the top of a table, but only for a moment, and then get yourself together and realize, no, no,
Right.
that's
And
not.
that's why I tried so hard to do so many different characters
Yeah.
but they're all sort of part of me in a way to have that sort of real connection to it. But, when you're reading a book, sometimes you'll just really identify with one character over another, but there's always something that you can draw from the other characters in like any book that you read or media
Hmm.
that you see, like, oh, that's like me, that part's not like me. And yeah, it's just back to what you're identifying with.
Yeah. Another thing that I find that it connects with me is is a lot of young adult books and fantasy young adult books and these things use animals. Use animals in ways as both support and kind of representational. Why do you think that is? Why do you think animals play such a huge role?
Oh, I'm not sure about other authors.
Okay,
I
why does it
again,
why do it yeah.
again, it can act as metaphor.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
definitely act as metaphor. Also, we tend to be more kind and compassionate towards animals.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think the animals of my book aren't really animals. So
Yeah.
maybe that's just a whole part of the metaphor. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's just like subconsciously in there. But yeah, I think, I think we are definitely, we always joke that horror movies really took it to a next level when they started killing dogs. Like that's like you can kill as many people as you want as soon as they killed a dog. No, 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 no. Like that was like the line drawn.
Oh, that was in Ricky Gervais's last series, Afterlife. The whole
Oh,
thing up to the end was he the fans were like, what happens to the dog? What happens to your dog? And he is a big animal conservationist, big pet conservationist, raises money for different shelters and whatnot. And he's like, trust me, nothing was going to happen to the dog. The dog was going to be absolutely fine, you know. And I think that sometimes with the animals, it's like not only are they, for me, they're not just symbols and not just metaphors, but they're also that for many of us, our pets and animals are a way to have a true emotional connection that maybe we feel fearful to have with friends, family, other humans, you know. And I see this when I watch videos, and I wonder, like, you see these kind of online memes or online clips or something of post of, these grown men getting puppies and they just lose it. They're just completely bawling hysterically. And I think it's lovely. And I hope that they're that open with their emotions and everything else too,
right.
maybe not just in that with those animals. So,
I think
there's
it was
yeah,
oh, I think
no, go
it
ahead.
was the Saturday Night Live sketch. It's so like in my memory. It was like a liberal scientist got their dog to talk, and the dog was like a total Republican
Oh, I
conservative.
can see that. Yeah, yeah,
Liked you all this time. Like it
yeah.
was just I think it shows one of the reasons why we like pets so much is
Oh,
that there
completely. I
is an
joke about
emotional, spiritual connection. It has nothing to do with opinions or
yeah.
conversation or what movies you like or
No,
yeah. It
no.
is that is a connection on a whole different level.
Completely different level. There's one book, one YA book that really hit me, which was the book Looper. Have you read the book Looper?
I have not.
It was because the problem with the book, the problem is that the movie that was made of it was completely not what the book was about at all.
Always.
Um, but the book was a um a really good, but not even metaphor, about child abuse
No.
and domestic abuse and child abuse, and about the psychological need to remove yourself emotionally and emotionally from horrific situations. And um, it was the book stuck with me. It really, really stuck with me because I felt that it was a book that gave a methodology, a method for young adults to possibly talk about what was going on in their life through this fantasy, sci-fi, science fiction book.
Right.
Um, and I think that is one of the brilliant parts about it is it gives opportunities to have conversations and hit, we talk about why do they hit so hard is because sometimes it gets into very difficult things and very hard things like bullying,
Right.
and use a way to say, I identify with this. This is something that is important to me, or I get it. I get it. I think of the line from the scene from totally not YA, but the movie Velvet Goldmine, one of the greatest movies ever made, where Christian Bale is watching the David Bowie character on screen being, very glam, drag kind of whole thing, and he's quiet there, but then he has an imagination in his head. He's going, "That's me. That's me." And he's trying to tell everybody that's who he really is.
Right.
but he doesn't feel comfortable. And I think that's that's one of the wonderful things about young adult books and young adult fantasy books, like your book. It talks about, it's a way to give an avenue to talk about perhaps bullying and what's going on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And there's like I feel that as a certain responsibility um for that. You know, as I've said, I'm not a therapist, but I have to give these kids, okay, go see a therapist. You know, like
Yeah.
that's okay to see a therapist. Like it's okay to
Yeah.
talk about it. And that way I'm not personally giving out advice I have no business giving out, but still addressing those things. And I think any good YA book really does address those things.
Yeah. And be enjoyable, make you feel great about yourself, and bring you to a world that perhaps you didn't realize you wanted to go to and be completely engulfed in, and
Right.
love that. So,
Right.
well, thank you for the books you write.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody, these books are
Thank you for the
wonderful.
books you read.
Yeah, read, everybody. That's just what we're saying, is read. I'm not going to say watch cable because it doesn't exist. Just read, everybody. Just keep reading. Well, thank you, as always. Thanks to everybody for watching. Please share if you enjoy this. Recommend this to everybody. I am Shannon Malone-deBenedictis, documentary filmmaker. You can find me at paddlingcreative.com, website, social media, YouTube, you name it. And my dear friend,
Again, I'm Elara Dunn, and you can find me at themagiclocker.com. And you can get my books. Please buy my books on Amazon in paperback or Kindle,
get
or
the books.
both.
Everybody get the books. They're really fantastic. They really are. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.